And joining us now on the Drive Time podcast is the Dolphins' sixth-round draft pick, number 184 overall. He is long snapper out of LSU, Blake Ferguson. Blake, congrats and welcome to Miami.
Thank you. Happy to be a part of the organization.
Got to ask you, everyone gets that phone call on draft day with Chris Greer, Brian Flores. How did that call go?
It was crazy, and it's one that I've been looking forward to for a long time. And to get that call, my stomach sunk for a second when my phone started buzzing. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? Somebody mute the TV. So it was cool. But, my family has been here and they've been incredibly supportive throughout this whole process. And so it's been a weekend and a day that I'll never forget.
This is something I've been asking all your new teammates, Blake. What are the Dolphins getting in Blake Ferguson?
They're getting a leader. They're getting a worker and somebody who's excited to learn. I know that I'll be coming in low man on the totem pole, but I'm excited to work and I'm excited to compete.
Now, I know it's kind of the family business, and we'll talk about that here in just 1 second, but I'm always curious to ask, how did you get into long snapping? Because I think it's a unique skill to figure out. Like, I can spin a ball between my legs 15 yards on a dime. How did you know you were that good at it?
Yeah, so my brother started doing it before I did. And he kind of, he had a little bit of success and, I knew that I wasn't really going to be an All-American tight end or an All-American linebacker. And so, I knew that I wanted to play at the next level. I just had to find, my niche, and it was in long snapping. And so, I started to learn from him and I started to learn, I went to some camps, some Rubio long snapping camps where you get the greatest instruction. And so, I began to compete, and I was one of the top guys in the country coming out of high school. So I'm fortunate to have had the career that I've had and excited for more.
And you mentioned the family business there. You wind up in the AFC East with your brother. How excited are you for a little bit of brother rivalry here in the division?
It was awesome, and it's gonna be awesome for years to come. And looking forward to seeing him twice a year. Looking forward to hosting him in Miami and putting a dub up on the board.
I have a friend, Blake, up in Buffalo who does media up there, and he just told me to ask you about the nickname Hype City.
That's a nickname that I was given by a bunch of Reed's folks up in Buffalo because I'm naturally an excited hype football player, and so there were pictures of me on the sidelines at LSU where I would be yelling and screaming and having a good time and just excited, and so I guess I adopted that nickname, and that's one that I'll probably take with me for a long time.
I'm looking forward to seeing Hype City down in South Florida. But you mentioned being a part of that LSU team last year. What was it like being on such a dominant college team? Not a whole lot of punt or long snapping on punts, but plenty of PATs, right?
Lots of PATs, not a lot of punts, and that's the way that we like it. And going forward, hopefully it's the same way in Miami.
Now, Blake, you just did the media with the South Florida beat guys, and you gave us a good Coach O impression. You got to give it to we got to hear it.
Yeah. So I gave those guys a one team, one heartbeat. But he's got so many different things. Before we go out onto the field, before every game, he would have us in the locker room, and we call it the ready room. It's where we kind of go out into the tunnel, and so right before we go out, he would always get. He has some speakers in there, and he would have a heartbeat pumping, and everybody would kind of be on the same page pumping before we go out onto the field. And he would say, "The best sound in football, the Tigers going to war." And then he would count 1, 2, 3, and we'd all strap up our helmets. And it was really a cool moment just to all be on the same page as a team. But that's kind of the best impression I guess I could give you.
I'm having a hard time keeping it together over here, man. I always try my go Tigers, but I think you got it beat. So I won't get any further onto that. But I want one more question here.
I've had a little more practice than you.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. You've heard the cliches, the same. I'm sure you've heard the one team, one heartbeat several hundred times. But
yes,
when you're not on the football field, Blake, when you're out doing stuff on your off day, what do you do for fun?
So I like to travel, but I guess on an off day, You know, I'm hanging out with friends. I'm staying home. I like to cook, so I like to try new things to cook. And you know, here in quarantine, we've had a lot of days where we're just messing around, and we try some new recipes, and you know, grill up something good, or something like that. So I guess grilling and cooking and just having a good time with some friends.
What's your go-to recipe?
Um, so mom's sausage casserole is pretty good. You know, I'm learning how to make that and make it as good as she can. I like salmon, so maybe like a baked or a seared salmon. And then we tried a new like ribs recipe on the grill, that was pretty good. We did 2 full racks of ribs and smashed it. So that was pretty good too. We'll have
Well,
to try
shoot, man.
that one again.
Yeah, I'm coming to your house for dinner one of these nights,
Yeah,
man. It
I'll have
sounds
to I'll have to bring that to the 305.
yeah, man. We'd appreciate it. We got plenty of good cuisine down here, but it sounds like you can bring some of that Cajun flair out here with us too. Blake, we appreciate your time,
Absolutely.
man. Welcome to Miami. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you. Happy to be a part.